I've got plenty to be thankful for.
Hey everybody, Lindsay here, and this is my review for Thanksgiving. No, I did not get bad lip injections. I had to get a vaccine to start a new medicine for my Crohn's disease, and it has wrought havoc upon my body. And in one way it has wrought havoc is this upper lip situation we got going here. But you know what? We're going to continue on. We're not going to let this stop us. No. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving, and we're going to do it right now. Thanksgiving. Yes, God. How many years since Grindhouse came out?
2 adrenaline-fueled roller coasters. 1 ticket to ride.
Grindhouse fucking came out in 2007. I didn't think it was that old. Holy fuck, I'm old. I went and saw Grindhouse in the theater, opening weekend, midnight, sneak peek, when it was both movies, all the fake trailers, and an intermission. Yes, we had an intermission. And I was one of 7 people in the theater. And it was just 7 individual people. It wasn't like 3 individuals and a couple or 2. No, it was 7 individual people seated, spread apart. But after intermission, we did sit closer together. The magic of movies, bringing people together to watch Grindhouse.
Only at the Grindhouse.
One of the fake trailers in that was Eli Roth Thanksgiving trailer.
Thanksgiving.
And for the longest time, there'd been talk. People wanted him to do it. There'd been whispers that he was, but he finally fucking did it. He made the full movie. Now, it's not... it's based on the trailer, but it's not the movie for that trailer. It doesn't have the dark, grimy Grindhouse stuff that it did. It doesn't show everything. I mean, there's a few nods and winks to the original trailer. But I don't want to spoil anything. But there's a couple winks, a couple nods, a few similar scenes, a few similar settings. But the basic storyline is there's this small town called Plymouth, big Thanksgiving town, big celebration every year. But during one Black Friday, a store decides to open early on Thanksgiving, and there's a huge crowd, and things go terribly, terribly wrong, and a couple people die. It happens. Fast forward 1 year later, and some people that were involved in this stuff going wrong last year start ending up dead and in smaller pieces. Going into this, I didn't have high hopes because I remember seeing the trailer. I kind of knew going in exactly what this movie was going to be. It was going to be an old school shitty slasher film. And that's exactly what you get with this. It's a shitty slasher film, and it follows shitty slasher film tropes. Now, there are good slasher films and shitty slasher films. You know, there's a difference between the two. As far as like plot progression, tropes, cliches, they have their own thing going on. And this movie has all of that. But overall, I did have fun watching this movie. It's fun. The kills are gory. The characters are stupid. There's a few funny moments. There is humor in this. I didn't find all of it funny, but there is humor in it. And again, it's an homage to those old shitty slashers that came out in the 80s. And I think it fulfills that purpose. It doesn't do anything new or groundbreaking. It has a very superficial message to it, like so many slashers do. It's a revenge story. It's a holiday theme to it. It's got some great practical effects, practical kills. There's a couple cool practical kills in this movie. But with it being an homage to these older slasher films, it's very predictable. It's very predictable. I mean, they do throw quite a few red herrings in there, and they do a good job of that, but it's very predictable. You figure... I think it's pretty easy to tell who the killer is. It's no shock when it's revealed. But I did have some problems with this movie that kept me from really loving it. And we're gonna talk about those now. First of all, some of the writing is not that great. Again, it goes with shitty slasher movies, but some of the motivations for the character are just so ludicrous and so stupid. Why they make some of the decisions that they do are mind-boggling, and they just don't make any sense, and there's no reasoning behind it. So a lot of the situations that propel things forward are pretty convoluted. The characters aren't real strong. There's maybe one or two characters in this that I really liked that were fun. The teenage characters barely left an impression. We didn't get a great dynamic final girl in this. There's a final girl, it's just they don't do enough with her and we don't learn enough about her. The editing in this is weird. There's times when, especially during some of the kills, where the editing is so crappy that it takes the air out of it. Especially the ones that they use a mix, I think, of digital and practical effects in this. The practical effects I love, they were great, but sometimes when they rely more on the digital side, it lessens the impact so much. And I think a majority of that is due to the editing that they use in this movie. It's very weird. Like they just cut the legs off some stuff in this movie, and I don't know why. And again, the biggest thing is it was just so predictable. There's some very clumsy dialogue that is foreshadowing, and it's so obviously foreshadowing. And I know some of that is the point. It's like we're doing this thing where it's an old school slasher told in modern time. I get that. But a majority of the charm that those old school slashers have is because they were made when they were. So when you transport that formula to modern times, it doesn't always work if the writing isn't strong enough. The writing needs to be stronger to pull off the stuff that they were doing in those old school slashers and to make it more memorable. So overall, this movie is just kind of like, yeah, it was fun. I don't think it's a movie I'll revisit over and over again. Maybe I'll watch it one other time. I don't know. I'm not like, ooh, I need to watch that again. I watched it and I did a review on it, and now I'm kind of done with it. I wish I would have enjoyed it more because it seems like a lot of people really liked this movie, really enjoyed this movie and had a lot of fun with it. If you did, please let me know. Let me know your reasons. I'd love to hear why. I always like to get other people's perspective, especially a perspective different than mine. So if you really enjoyed this, please let me know in the comments. But if you were, like me, just kind of a little let me know that too. But that's gonna do it for this little review. So until next time, this is Lindsay signing off. I'll check you later.